Five fantasy football moves you need to make for Week 16. One superstar returns, another departs. It's fantasy finals week, and if you've navigated the minefield to this point, there's one test ahead. But Week 16 is made more complicated by landscape-altering changes to two of the NFL's most electrifying players. On one hand, Ezekiel Elliott returns from his 6-game suspension, and if you've made it this far, you might be tempted to stay away from Zeke. After all, your substitute running back was already good enough to notch a couple winner-take-all playoff victories. But I feel about Elliott's return the same way I felt about Aaron Rodgers. This is why we play fantasy football, because it's fun as heck to sit down on a Sunday afternoon and have a stake in a great player. No, I don't know for sure what Elliott's workload will be like against the Seahawks. No, I don't know if left tackle Tyron Smith will be able to play. I don't care. Zeke starts. Don't overthink it. And on the other hand, Antonio Brown will miss Week 16 with a torn calf muscle, ruining what's been another impossibly great season. The Steelers play a weak Houston defense Sunday, and I'd expect to see as much Le'Veon Bell as possible, but when Ben Roethlisberger throws, expect both Juju Smith-Schuster and Martavis Bryant to have significant enough roles for them to be worth using. Nobody can replace Brown's route running, downfield and open field chops, and neither Smith-Schuster nor Bryant belongs in the WR1 conversation. But they'll both at least be inside my top 30 receivers for the week. Let's take a look at 5 more must-make moves in front of your fantasy finals. Must start: A.J. Green, Doug Baldwin, Jimmy Graham, Carlos Hyde, etc. If you survived your semis despite terrible outputs from supposed studs, you may be hesitant to return to them in Week 15, and I get it. It's no fun watching Green go down with the ship in Cincinnati, to the tune of 2 catches for 30 yards against the Vikings. But winning a championship usually requires a big score, and the way you get big scores is with your most talented players. There aren't that many unquestioned, set-it-and-forget-it superstars in fantasy these days, but when you have them, when you know they're good, but you're paranoid about situation and/or opponent, my tendency is to roll with the big dogs. Let Mike Evans's performance on Monday night be your guide. Evans had been terrible, but he came through. Personally, I can live with it if Baldwin puts up another stinker. What gives me trouble sleeping is when I bench him and he goes crazy. Ravens can still crash the NFL playoff picture. Must bench: Jimmy Garoppolo, QB, SF. Jimmy G is an incredible story, and it's not just his stats. I watch all the game film, and Garoppolo may already have the NFL's quickest passing motion, and his accuracy from different arm angles and on the move has been amazing. But it won't always be so easy. There will be bumps. The Niners don't have a talented offensive roster around Garoppolo, and against the league's best defense, Jacksonville, in Week 15, I don't want to rely on a dude with 5 career starts, even if he did learn at the foot of Tom Brady. I'd be looking elsewhere for a quarterback streamer Sunday. Last gasp RB, Mike Gillislee, knee. Rex Burkhead sprained a knee Sunday in Pittsburgh and is likely to miss New England's final 2 regular season games, which means the forgotten Gillislee has a chance to be active for the first time in 6 games. Burkhead has been the goal line back in December, and now the troll could segue back to Gillislee. Being Brady's touchdown caddy is a good gig. There are no guarantees here, but if you're looking for a flex and are out of reliable options, Gillislee could save your season. You could also take a look at the Buccaneers' Peyton Barber if Doug Martin is suspended again for violating team rules, although I don't love Tampa's matchup in Carolina. Last gasp WR, Deed Westbrook, Jack. Marquise Lee hurt his ankle early against the Texans Sunday, and the only Jags receiver who didn't feast as a result was Westbrook. Keelan Cole posted a couple of big plays and Jaden Mickens scored twice. The current incarnation of Jacksonville's offense is super conservative, Blake Bortles throws downfield infrequently and instead focuses on shallow crosses and hooks and years after catch. Despite Week 14's frustration for Westbrook's owners, he is the best athlete left standing in the Jags receiving corps, and I'd expect things to come around to him. If he's not available, you could take a shot on Cole, or perhaps Geronimo Allison of the Packers, if Devin Adams can't play Saturday because of his concussion. Must stream, Bears defense. The problem with Chicago's defense is that it's attached to Chicago's offense. They get put in crummy situations by Mitch Trubisky's poor decisions and an offensive line that doesn't get much push. But turnover machine DeShone Kizer is coming to town. Kizer has 19 interceptions and 6 lost fumbles. Nobody else in the league has more than 16 turnovers. At his current pace, Kizer may challenge Eli Manning and Mark Sanchez for the single-season turnover record of the 2010s. Brett Favre's 36 back in 05 seem pretty safe. If I don't have a team defense I like and to have been streaming all the way to my finals, it seems a wise move to choose Kizer's opponent. So welcome aboard, Bears defense. Good luck in those finals. More from the Post. Dez Bryant says Ezekiel Elliott is licking his chops for return this week. The Demons are always a breath away. Larry Johnson, convinced he has CTE, battles self-destructive impulses. NFL owners are paying Roger Goodell with a contract extension, but are they really